Thank you for sparring with me, Your Highness. It seems despite how hard I've worked, I'm still no match for you.
Oh, there's no need for such humility. Thanks to all of your hard work, you're improving rapidly.
If you're going to praise me, it should at least be after I've won a match against you.
You know, Ingrid, I may be the victor when we cross spears on foot like this. But on horseback, your handling of a lance is far superior. Can't I be allowed to have my own area of expertise?
No, I cannot allow that. It's my duty to get stronger, to fight with all I have in defense of the kingdom and its people.
Such high stakes. By the way, where did you learn that fierce jab of yours? I'm pretty sure the only other person I've seen perform that move is Glenn.
So you recognized it? Yes, he shared much with me.
I thought as much. I never imagined I would be on the receiving end of one of his techniques again. Glenn and I once studied under the same instructor. I've sparred with him more times than I can count.
Ah, yes. He was never short on praise for you. Lord Dimitri is incredible. Such skill. There's no way I'll ever outmatch him. Things of that sort.
Well now, he never said any of that to me.
Well, he was Felix's brother. That family's not big on displays of affection.
That is true. We spent about as much time arguing as we did training. I can't believe it's been 4 years since the tragedy of Dusker. Since we lost Glenn along with so many others.
So it has. Time moves quickly. Things have changed so much. Despite the sorrow, I intend to become a powerful knight. A knight like yourself. And like Glenn. I will do so for the sake of my homeland, the holy kingdom of Fargus, and for all who have died protecting it. To that end, I hope you will spar with me again in the future, Your Highness.
It would be my pleasure. After all, I value our training sessions as much as you do. Ingrid, I've been doing some thinking, and it occurs to me that I owe you an apology.
What? Why do you seem so serious?
In a just world, you would be happily married to Glenn. He truly loved you, and it's clear that you cared deeply for him as well. But on that awful night, he died right before my eyes. I could do nothing to prevent it. In a way, I'm responsible for you losing the joyous future that should have been yours. I know my words can change nothing, but I'm so sorry, Ingrid.
No, Your Highness. There's no need to apologize. Glenn's death, it still doesn't feel real. I always looked up to Glenn. He was the very picture of a perfect knight, noble and virtuous. In the end, he laid down his life, the ultimate sacrifice. I feel proud of him in ways that words can't quantify.
Proud? Truly?
That's right. I feel proud that he died for those he was sworn to protect. Proud that he passed from this realm to the next as a perfect knight.
Are you really trying to turn his needless death into an ideal to uphold? You and he are so alike.
Needless death? How can you say that? Glenn gave his life for you, for everyone, and this is how you speak of his sacrifice?
You weren't there. You didn't witness his last moments. If you had, you wouldn't feel that way.
I don't care to hear your interpretation of his final moments. He was and will always be an ideal knight.
You would do well to rethink that ideal, my friend.
Pardon me? He served in your guard. He took great pride in what he did, in protecting you. The very least you can do is not spit on his memory. If you'll excuse me.
What is the matter with me?
Your Highness, I've come to apologize. I mismanaged my feelings and got carried away. I've been thinking about what might have made you say the things you did. I was so caught up in the moment and in my own feelings that I didn't think of what yours might be.
No, I should be the one to apologize. I did not intend to say such things. I lashed out like a child. You were right to rebuke me. I am disgusted by my own inability to express myself. Will you allow me to explain?
Of course.
At the tragedy of Dusker, I saw countless corpses. Of course, I saw his, too. Glenn's. Ingrid, I doubt you would have been able to see him. They were unable to bring his body back, after all. He must have died an agonizing death, full of pain and regret. That is what I saw on his face. In that wasteland, there were no beautiful, proud deaths that could have been written about in heroic tales. Not one. I do not want you to die a death like that. Not even for the sake of loyalty or duty.
A king must at times order his soldiers and knights to fight and die on his behalf. Their lives must be used for the greater good. This is something any good king understands innately. Any king who doesn't allow people to die on his behalf is too soft to rule well.
You leave me little room for argument. Have I disappointed you?
No. I chose to serve you because of how you are. As your knight, I will stand by your side and uphold your soft-hearted ideals.
What has changed, Ingrid? You were so obstinate the other day.
I've realized that I haven't been facing a very important truth. Because of you, I can finally move on. Thank you.
Finally, you score a point against me on the ground. You have improved, Ingrid.
That was nothing more than a fluke. My technique was horribly sloppy that last round.
It does not matter what sort of technique it was. You won. If this had been a real battle, I would be dead. You wielded your lance well, without any hesitation. Has your approach changed?
You may recall when I said I'm now able to move on, because of you.
I remember. What did you mean by it?
That I finally understand a truth about Glenn. It sounds as though he died with a heavy heart, a heart that carried regret. I had suspected as much, but instead of acknowledging it, I twisted my memory of him to fit an ideal I've been upholding.
I see.
Your Highness, I will not sacrifice my life for anyone, but perhaps instead, I can live my life for someone. I will pledge my life to you.
And how exactly am I meant to interpret that?
However you please, Your Highness.
Oh? Well then. Ingrid, when this is all over, I want you to support and defend me. As my knight. I have been thinking of telling you this for a long time. We get along well, you and I.
As your knight? Yes, of course. Of course I will. I intended to do so for the sake of the kingdom. Together, Your Highness. You and I. Our first order of business, putting this tragic war to an end.
Yes. And while we're at it, do not die on me, Ingrid. Promise me that.
Yes, Your Highness. I swear it on my lance. Claude.
What's on your mind, Ingrid? Actually, if it's something troublesome, can it wait a bit? I am positively exhausted today, so I was gonna turn in early. Don't you try to stop me, you hear?
The sun just barely dipped below the horizon, yet you're already preparing for bed?
Rising with the dawn and setting with the sun. Isn't that how a life is meant to be lived?
I'm almost certain you have never been awake at sunrise, Claude.
And how would you know that? You haven't been peeking into my room every morning, right? I'll have you know I like to rise early for my daily meditation.
Sure. And I've decided to quit my pursuit of knighthood. At least try to make your excuses more believable. And that yawn just now. You didn't even bother covering your gaping mouth. One would never know you're of noble birth with how you conduct yourself.
You need to relax, Ingrid. Deep breaths, okay? A yawn can't hurt, I swear it. Freely, you'd better get a hold on that attitude of yours. Otherwise, that pretty face is gonna get all twisted up with angry lines. Guys don't like gals who are always griping at them. Try a smile every now and then. Here, let's practice. On 3. 1, 2, 3.
You're actually telling me to smile more, aren't you? How common? Since you're so insistent upon telling me what my face should be doing, perhaps my blade can restructure your face with a more permanent smile. All jokes aside, are you not a leader? As a leader, you should set a shining example. A position such as yours comes with responsibilities. See that you consider them more carefully in the future.
Ashe.
And just how long do you plan on lounging about yawning like a slob? At least lounge in your own quarters.
Okay.
Honestly, some people.
Wow, somebody needs to teach that girl to lighten up. Ingrid, hello.
Yes, Claude?
Listen, I know you and I don't always get along. I just wanted to say that I'm sorry if my way of being is upsetting to you.
If anyone should be making apologies, it's probably me. I've been overly harsh toward you on more than one occasion. I am close friends with someone who has caused me no end of trouble since we were very young. You remind me a bit of him, and I think I've projected my annoyances at him onto you, at times.
Huh. Am I really that similar to this friend of yours?
Not in every regard, no. You certainly seem to treat those of the opposite gender with quite a bit more respect, for one thing.
Well now, I'll take that as a compliment.
You also speak to me in a much more amicable manner than my dear friend ever does.
Okay, I have to ask you something, but only if you promise not to show me your angry lines again. Doesn't that straight-laced personality of yours make life harder than it needs to be? I feel like there are plenty of people who'd like to get to know you better, but who are scared off by your, well, intense attitude.
Oh, really?
Really. I'd say that especially applies to most of the folks you go around giving lectures to. We're all friends here, Ingrid. We all trust each other with our very lives on the battlefield. Shouldn't we try to accept each other?
You have a point.
I sure do. Besides, with a cute face like yours, I bet you could win anyone over if you just threw out a smile now and then.
I've got better things to concern myself with. In any case, you speak as though you know so much about wooing the masses. But I would wager that many of our classmates find it difficult to trust one as slovenly as yourself.
Oh, another lecture. I see you took my words to heart. Look, let's just call a truce, shall we? How about we agree that we could both learn something from our chat today? If you'll make an effort to smile more, I'll try my best to set a better example for everyone.
That seems like an unreasonable thing to ask of you. I wonder if you're capable of such a thing.
And it's perhaps equally wild to ask an ice block like you to melt. But let's give it a try. What do you say?
I suppose it's only virtuous to ask as much of myself as I'm asking of you. Very well. I accept your challenge.
Hello, Ingrid. A good day to you.
Well, hello there. If it isn't Claude, always a pleasure.
You put in a fine performance in training today. I must redouble my own efforts.
That's kind of you to say.
By the by, do you have a moment to spare? I have been meaning to ask for your input on some new strategies.
Oh, goodness. Only if you think someone as lowly as myself might be of service.
But of course, I value your skills more highly than most any other.
Oh, goodness.
Okay, time out. Listen, Ingrid, do you really have to say, oh goodness, every couple of seconds?
What do you expect? Speaking to me as you were, I only responded in kind.
What? Do I sound that strange? I thought I was acting earnest and industrious.
I mean, yes, you do. You sound nothing short of ridiculous.
Sheesh. Have you looked in a mirror lately? You're the one who's been walking around like Queen Uptight.
Excuse me? I'll admit it was a bit forced, but it certainly doesn't warrant such a title.
Look, this was fresh and fun for a while, but maybe it's time we called it quits. Acting like this isn't us. We're just going to make everyone think we've gone mad.
I agree. I must say, I have an easier time getting on with you when you're you, in all your you-ness. Come to think of it, you've always been more reliable than most anyone I know, when it really mattered.
Well, thanks for saying that. I think I liked you better when you were a bit pricklier too. I've gone so long without hearing one of your lectures, I'm almost starting to miss them.
I'm sure I can remedy that for you.
I didn't mean you need to go all out or anything. A little restraint would still be nice.
My lectures, as you call them, only persist as long as is necessary.
Oh, I think I'm coming down with a stomach ache. We'll talk later, okay? Okay, see ya.
You honestly expect me to believe that? Come back here, Claude.
Hi, Ingrid. That was a great training session today, wasn't it?
It was indeed, Claude. It's so nice to see you.
Things have been pretty busy lately, though. I hope you're taking the time to rest whenever you have the chance.
I thank you for the concern. You are ever so kind.
I've finally got a free day tomorrow, so I was planning to sleep through the morning and laze around all day.
That sounds so lovely. Perhaps I should do the same.
Ingrid, will you just stop it already? You still doing that shtick?
Whatever do you mean?
Are you feeling all right? You're acting so demure. It's kind of creeping me out.
You can't be serious. I always knew you were a layabout, but I see now you're also an insensitive nitwit too. If I lecture you, you complain. If I act pleasant, you also complain.
Ah, you switched back.
Please, tell me how to behave. At least if you're commandeering my behavior, I'll get less of an earful of your complaints. Have you ever even once considered thinking before you speak? And you wonder why people so rarely trust you.
Ah, right. I'm sorry, I guess that was kind of insensitive.
Wow, quite the apology. Sounds a lot like one of your myriad excuses. Do you really expect empty apologies to help you get your way?
I'm suddenly feeling dizzy. Oh, so dizzy. We'll have to talk about this later.
There you go again, you and your excuses. I thought if I made extra efforts to be pleasant, he and I might finally interact without bickering. I just don't know what the best approach is with him.
There is no best approach.
Were you listening to everything I just said? Ugh, I thought you'd run off.
I told you before, didn't I? You're better off as your normal, prickly self. I don't mind getting lectured by you, so keep on doing that from time to time, okay? Just maybe not all of the time. Anyway, oh, the dizziness. Bye.
As if an occasional lecture could ever cut it. Bernadetta, please come out of your room. You've been in there for ages. You need to train.
No. Sorry, not happening.
I'm not playing around, Bernadetta. This training is absolutely crucial to the war.
I don't care. I can't handle it today. Please leave.
Why did you come here?
Why did I come here? I didn't choose to join the academy. I was forced. Then more stuff happened, and I didn't have a say in any of it. So here I am, somehow.
I suppose not everyone has to be pleased about being here. But even so, Bernadetta, I'll ask one more time. Please come out of there.
And I'll tell you one more time. It's not happening. Not right now. Not today.
You leave me no alternative. If you're near the door, you'd better step away.
My door! Why?
Now hurry along, Bernadetta. You've got lots of training to catch up on.
Spare me! I'll train! Just not with you. Anyone but you, please.
Is that so? That presents a problem. I know we are two very different people, but whether or not you like me, we are on the same side and must learn to work together.
It's not about any any of that! If this is how you treat people on your own side, what do you do to your enemies?
Don't ask questions you don't want answers to. I did what was necessary to get you to comply. Nothing more. I do hope that the professor will be able to help you through the rest of your training. In the meantime, I will fix your door. Good luck.
Right. Okay. Good.
Ah, there you are. I just checked your room, but obviously you weren't in there.
Oh, you didn't break the door down again looking for me, did you?
Of course not. I'm not unreasonable. I just wanted to discuss something with you.
Discuss? Is that really all? Okay, I can handle that.
Firstly, I'd like to apologize for breaking down your door. I'm sorry. It was perhaps a bit rash. There was a period of time, quite a while ago, when I acted much the same as you. I spent many hours locked away in my own room.
You did? Really?
Really? Because I understood where you were coming from, I knew I had to intervene. At a moment's notice, all you care for could be swept away. At that time, is it better to have wasted your energy hiding away? Or better to have spent it honing your skills so that you can lend a hand?
But even if I did train, what's the point? It's not like it would do much good.
Don't speak so disparagingly of yourself. It doesn't help things. You have plenty of strengths.
No, you think so?
Just look how quickly you sprint back to your room, for example. With more practice, I have a feeling you could outrun most anyone. You're also exceedingly talented in the arts. Surely there's a creative way to apply those talents on the battlefield. Stop wasting your breath and energy on putting yourself down. Just try your best. I'm not giving up on you. You have so much power in you, just waiting to be unleashed.
You really believe all that? That's so nice. All right. For you, Ingrid, I'll do it.
Excellent. Let's be on our way.
Hey, wait! What are you doing? I didn't agree to this! Put me down! Do you have to be so bouncy?
That got us here much quicker, don't you think? Let's begin. Let's warm up by sparring.
Oh, stop, please! I surrender!
Giving in so soon? There's no such thing as surrender on the battlefield.
Ingrid, do you have a moment? We're going to perform an opera in the cathedral.
We are?
Yes, it's a small one, but I need some volunteers. Let me tell you, Alois is very excited. He's already doing a ton of work for the show.
I see. What's it about?
Classic opera fare. A tragic love story, a princess who falls in love with a handsome commoner. But our princess, she carries the fate of her country on her shoulders. And no matter how in love she is, she can't just marry whoever she wants. Or can she?
That's quite a story. Sounds tragic and beautiful. Who will be playing the princess?
Me. I was a singer in an opera company, though I hope I'm not being too presumptuous casting myself. Even if you're not interested in being part of the production, you will come to see it, won't you? I'm asking everyone to dress up properly. I want it to be a stylish and elegant night.
That does sound quite lovely. And I do want to go, but
Please, don't worry if you can't make it. I understand we're doing this on such short notice.
No, it's not that. I struggle with the elegant part of things. I don't really do myself up in elegant clothing and makeup and such.
If fashion's your concern, lady, you're in luck.
I am?
If you don't dress for the occasion, no one will take you seriously. But don't worry about a thing. I'll happily work my magic on you. When it's time, I'll meet you in your room. We'll make you the most beautiful woman in the theater.
Oh, goodness. Okay. Why are you sighing at me like that? Is my face really so hopeless?
Ingrid, I'm trying to think of something polite to say right now. It's as if you have no experience dressing elegantly. At all.
I mean, I don't. Dorothea, I appreciate you taking the time, but yes, we're in the middle of a war. It hasn't been my top priority.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't be so hard on you. I was just surprised, is all. A gal like you're a beautiful young noblewoman who somehow has no experience with either makeup or fashion. This is basic stuff, Ingrid. The basics of the basics, really. But it's like you've never even tried.
I was just never interested before. Even as a child, it never appealed to me. Fussy, pretty things always felt unnecessary. And gussing myself up to attract someone has never played an important part in my pursuits as a knight. But you've piqued my interest in all this. How? It's not like I'd be dressing myself up just to attract someone. I'd be dressing up for the occasion, specifically. Even if I don't dress up any other time, a special occasion such as this is a good reason to try it out.
Well, yeah, that's why we dress up when we go out. You might meet someone and you want to look your best, don't you? Get their attention, lure them in.
That's the exact opposite of what I just said. You said previously that dressing up for the occasion is reason enough.
Oh, I just said that so you wouldn't run off screaming.
I see.
My real point is that you're quite lovely even before getting all fixed up. Absolutely bewitching, in fact. So when I'm finished with you, well, someone looking at you could be forgiven for wanting to pounce.
Could they be? I don't know that I'd forgive them.
Oh, I know. That's why just before I lunge, I'm gonna ask permission.
Permission is not granted. Ever. Just back off.
Are you injured?
No.
Good.
I'd have cut my way through, alone, without your assistance.
My apologies.
Your apologies are empty. I spoke out of turn. I'm sorry, Dedue. His Highness has put his faith in you. You're a valuable comrade, no matter my feelings. The people of Dusker...
Save your breath. There were countless people like you in the capital. People who spat, threw things, insults and stones alike, whenever they pleased. Their anger was natural. I do not begrudge them.
I see.
You owe me no apology, and I will keep my distance on all other occasions. But on the field of battle, allow me to aid you. If you were to fall, His Highness would grieve.
I see. Then I will accept your help on the battlefield.
Understood. Are you injured?
Dedue, saving the day again?
Apologies.
I'm the one who owes you an apology. You've saved my life how many times now? If I keep being so callous, I'll seem ungrateful.
No matter.
But
I'm accustomed to it.
I'm sorry, Dedue.
Why?
because the way I speak to you is unnecessarily harsh. The truth of it is, I lost someone very dear to me in Dusker. The punishment came swift to your people, and when I heard of the slaughters, well, I thought it was a punishment well earned. I thought the people cruel and heartless, deserving of the tragedy that ultimately befell them. But you're different. You seem nothing like the people of whom I speak. So why not speak back against how I and so many others feel? Why not question this unfair prejudice and tell me I haven't the right to hold a grudge against you? If you just speak to me, if you tell me the truth about all of this.
I do not know the truth of it myself. His Highness says the tragedy was not the fault of my people, but just like anywhere, there were many different people in Dusker, some very good, and others very bad. It is not unimaginable that some may have conspired to take part in that wickedness. Perhaps we are merely victims, or perhaps we are regicidal monsters.
Whatever the truth of it is, you are not to blame. The people I hate are the ones who are responsible for that whole mess. You just got caught up in all of it.
Ingrid.
You've rushed to my side. You've saved me countless times. I am sorry for how I've treated you. Truly.
If you think of me as your ally, that will suffice. For me, that is enough.
Dedue? Are you okay? You look unwell.
Ingrid. Is my face frightening?
What? I mean, sort of? Or not exactly. I wouldn't use the word frightening. Aggressive, maybe? But it's really nothing to worry about. Why? Did someone say something cruel?
I made a village child cry.
Oh, I see. Let me guess. You feel like you look frightening, so you walked around with a smile glued to your face.
How did you know?
I'm starting to understand how you think. The thing is, forced smiles never work well. They usually just end up making a person look creepy and insincere.
I see. Duly noted.
To be honest, when we first met, I was pretty intimidated by you. Not because of a smile, but a lack of any emotion whatsoever. And you so rarely spoke. I had no idea what to make of you. But that's only because I wasn't making an effort to get to know you, because you were from Dusker. As I started to get to know you, to understand your personality, I realized what a fool I'd been.
Personality?
You may come off intimidating, but underneath that cool exterior is a kind, loyal, and noble person. A really wonderful person. In a certain regard, you are one of the knightliest people I know. What is it?
Wonderful person. This is the first time anyone has ever said a thing like that to me. It is rather awkward.
It's only awkward if you make it awkward. Which it kind of is, now.
Well, let me know if you need anything.
Yes, of course. Same to you, Dedue. Felix, there you are. I've been looking all over for you. The War Council congregates soon. You'd better come.
Not sure why you need me. I don't know the first thing about strategy. Just how to use a sword.
Nonsense. You're going to be there.
Must I?
Why is this such a chore? You went last time. Though you did all you could to disrupt things, as I recall. Brazenly rambling on about clear-cutting a nearby forest to secure a marching route. and attacking an enemy base, stealing their horses. You were incredibly disruptive and even rude.
I was offering my honest opinion.
Then, you left before we were finished. What do you suppose happened after that?
I have no idea.
Well, the conversation got quite lively. We all began breaking down the viability of your somewhat maniacal plan. And apparently, similar tactics have been used to turn the tides of historic battles.
That may be an exaggeration. Successful armies must be able to handle unexpected situations. That starts with weapon mastery and creative tactics.
If you didn't have so much battlefield experience, you wouldn't be capable of such unique strategies. Which is why we need people like you. People who think creatively to lead the army.
Now you're just massaging my ego.
When have you ever minded? We need you there. Just come on.
Hello?
Oh, hello. Have you been there long? I was absorbed in this book.
Another silly legend?
First of all, they're not silly. And second of all, no. It's an essay that speaks to uncommon and challenging battle scenarios. I've been researching such things since you proposed your unique strategy. Listen to this. Your commander gives orders that put your hometown in extreme danger. Do you carry out the orders or protect your hometown?
What nonsense. I was talking about real-world tactics, not some dumb ethical question.
Whatever your personal feelings on the matter, I see similarities between such tactics and these dumb ethical questions. I haven't read beyond this one, but I think the obvious answer is to follow your commander. The duty and pride of being a knight demand that you follow orders, regardless of your own feelings. But if I were put in such a position, I don't know how I'd fare. In fact, were someone to carry out those orders, I know that I'd attempt to stop them.
Stop bothering with all this. You're not meant to be a knight. Go find a husband.
Excuse me?
You heard me.
I know you hate the ideals of chivalry and pride. So much so, you prefer to escape your duty as your family's heir. You have no right to criticize me for my ideals.
Perhaps not. At least I know not to heedlessly obey orders. I know not to romanticize blind obedience. My brother taught me to think for myself.
Don't you dare bring Glenn into this.
You're right. Forget it.
Why are you taking over my cleaning responsibilities?
You're wounded, and you're going too slowly. I couldn't stand to watch.
You're still fretting over me, are you? I'm fine now, really. It wasn't even serious.
I could have handled the situation alone. That enemy wasn't much of a threat.
Yes, we all know you could have. But I also didn't want to risk something unforeseen befalling you. I've been doing some thinking. I feel a bit lost. I don't know that I'm cut out to be a knight after all. Without fulfilling that dream, without being a knight, I've been asking myself where my place is in the world. And I think I found my answer. I don't want to lose anyone anymore. So I want to protect those I hold dear.
That's why you were protecting me, huh? What a fool you are.
Foolish to act in line with what I value most? Were I to die, I would die knowing I followed my heart, my truest calling. I've been reading through more of that book I was telling you about. Recall the hypothetical question it posed? Do you carry out the orders or protect your hometown?
You've been reading that garbage again?
The book never specified that one should prioritize the commander's orders. Instead, it suggested that one should follow their heart in the matter. That's what a knight, That's what anyone being true to themselves should do.
That's just the editor's opinion.
Of course, and I find value in that opinion. Glenn died following his heart, not heeding the commands of the country or even the royal family. I will follow his example, no matter the outcome, no matter the circumstance. I believe in myself.
You know nothing.
What is it that you know then? What is it you fight for, Felix?
My own beliefs.
I see no difference from my own stance.
You don't understand.
You fight to be stronger than everyone, that you might protect those you care for, correct?
Okay, fine. You do understand. My point is, don't let this happen again. If you died, I'd be annoyed.
To avoid annoyance, then, I suggest you continue to grow stronger. If that happens, I might allow you to protect me too.
You're insufferable.
Hi there, Ashe. Here to do some reading as well, I take it? Ashe?
Huh, Ingrid, you gave me a start. How long have you been standing there?
Not too long. Apologies for startling you. Must be a great book for you to be so deeply engrossed in it. What has you so captivated?
Oh, it's quite an old book. One of the really old legends of Fargus.
Aha! It must be the Sword of Kyphon then, yes?
Oh, so you know it.
Oh yes, I know it quite well. I read it often as a child. In fact, I read it so much that my personal copy fell apart. I brought it everywhere with me. I adore that book. The tale of the warrior Kyphon, whose devotion and loyalty enabled his best friend Luke to become king. He went to great lengths to see things through.
Exactly. I love the image of him charging forward into the fray, ready to take on any obstacle in the name of his king.
Indeed, he was the very picture of the perfect knight. In my opinion, the best chapter is right around the middle of the book.
Ah, the part about the war of the eagle and lion? That's my favorite part. In a flash, Kyphon's sword flew from its scabbard. The knight parried the assassin's blade mere inches from the spine of his king.
Kyphon's blade hummed like the wind, slashing the enemy's throat. In mere moments, their forces lay vanquished, decimated by his mighty blows. I can recite the entirety of it if you like. I never grow weary of that tale, the pinnacle of knighthood, with all its struggles and glory.
I know just what you mean. I never get tired of it. Some people laugh at me for reading these old tales, but I'll never outgrow them. I'm glad to find someone who shares my enthusiasm.
I'm glad of it as well. Tell me, what other books do you enjoy, Ashe?
Well, the first one I ever read was Lugh and the Maiden of Wind.
You have fantastic taste. That story is another favorite. The final chapter makes me tear up every time.
I know. When I first read it, I just couldn't get that ending out of my head.
It seems we have much in common. I look forward to chatting again sometime.
I'd love to. Yes, let's. Do you know this legend, Ingrid? It's about the Battle of Fodlan's Throat.
Oh yes, I know it like the hilt of my sword.
With so many valiant knights appearing in this story, I couldn't help but wonder which was your favorite. I really like this one, the one in the middle, the knight who stands in defense of the Duke.
Such a wonderful knight, one of my favorites as well.
That makes sense. He's so noble and virtuous. In fact, he kind of reminds me of you.
Thank you. You remind me of him as well. You are honest, as is he.
No, I'm nowhere near as great. Maybe someday. Maybe if we work hard together, we can both become knights as glorious as the one in this story.
Together, yes. Now wouldn't that be something? If only we could.
Huh?
Ashe, The legends are exactly that. Legends. They're not indicative of real life. The cards we are dealt are what they are. We can work with what we have, but we can't change what's in our hand.
What's that supposed to mean?
I long to serve His Highness as a knight. The sort of knight that legends are written about. But I was born bearing a crest, and with that comes responsibility. Whether I like it or not, I am the last hope of House Galatea. I am the only one who can carry on the family bloodline and restore our lost fortune. To do that means setting aside my own dreams and ambitions.
You still have the right to pursue your dreams.
Ashe, I must ask something of you.
Yes, of course. Anything.
My dream is aligned with your own. Please, for both of us, promise to see yours through.
That doesn't seem fair.
I'll never be able to see my dream through. Doing so would mean terrible misfortune for others. So, I am bound by honor not to follow through on my own dream. But I can help you achieve yours.
Come on, this isn't like you at all. Please, don't smile when your eyes are so sad. There you are, Ingrid.
Whoa, hi Ashe. You seem excited. What's that you're holding?
A book I found in town. I bought it for you.
From me? Ashe, this looks very costly. Antique books like this are never cheap. Wow, the cover is stunning, and the binding is still in fantastic condition.
I drove a hard bargain. Still, I'll probably have to cut back on my spending for a while.
Why did you go to so much trouble?
It wasn't easy, but as soon as I came across this legend, I knew you had to read it too.
Well then, I will read it. Oh, the knight on the cover looks striking.
Fascinating, right? I was captivated from the moment I laid eyes on the cover.
There's an aura of stoicism intermingled with beauty, even amid a gruesome battle. Wait, looking closer at the face, this knight is a woman.
Yes, and she was a real historical figure. She was born into a noble family and bore a crest, but she was accepted into the king's service as a knight. She fought in many battles at her king's side, serving him all her life as his right hand. Oh, sorry, I've said too much. I didn't mean to spoil the story for you. I'm just so excited. I hope you enjoy it too.
Thank you for the encouragement, Ashe. Living as a knight is certainly not an easy task. I know it will mean much pain, strife, and heartache. But I still want to pursue that dream. Talking to you has reminded me. I'm not the type who gives up easily.
That's the Ingrid I know.
So to start, I'm going to read this book.
Great! When you're finished and freshly inspired, we'll talk about becoming knights. Not the ones in stories either. The real thing.
I look forward to it, Ashe.
That was quite a sigh. What's wrong, Ingrid?
Tell me, Sylvain, what am I to you?
You're my friend. One of my oldest, in fact.
An old friend, is it? Then why must I clean up the casualties left behind by your skirt chasing?
Nobody asked you to do that. Heck, I thought you enjoyed it. Besides, you're real good at it. I'm excited to continue working with you.
Do you mean to imply you have no intention of acting a bit more respectably?
Please don't yell like that. Everybody's staring at us.
When you were 8, you came on to my sweet, sweet granny. My granny!
Come on. I was 8 and she was That was a long time ago.
Sylvain hit on Ingrid's grandmother? Wow.
People can hear you. Please be quiet.
When you were 10, we went to that harvest festival and you started making eyes at a scarecrow.
A scarecrow?
Wait a second. That was just an accident. A tragic, tragic accident.
When you were 15, you sought, relentlessly might I add, to involve yourself with Lord Gwendol's daughter. Who do you suppose made peace with the furious lord despite having nothing to do with it? Me. Me, always for you. Every time.
What a jerk.
You know what? This conversation is over. I'm done.
My point is that this has to end. Not later, but now.
Fine. I promise I'll try to change. Are you happy now? That's a heavy sigh. Again.
Yeah? That's the sigh of exhaustion after spending the past month apologizing for your behavior to, well, everyone.
Apologizing? I've been pretty darn restrained lately.
If by restrained you mean falling all over yourself to garner the attention of every passing female, then yes, you've been quite restrained. Mark my words, the more you hurt people, the more weighty the repercussions will be. Your actions will come around to bite you.
Ha! If I get bitten, that's all just part of the game. Heck, I had one girl's brother come after me with a pitchfork.
If you end up getting maimed or killed by a pitchfork, don't expect me at your funeral. Glenn used to make light of getting hurt too. Then one day, he got more than hurt. Now he's gone.
I'm sorry. I was being... You're right. I know what it did to you when he died. It hurt to see you hurt and not be able to do anything. When you wouldn't even come out of your room to take care of your horse.
Nothing affected me the way his passing affected me.
Well, I'm happy that you're better. Seeing you out and about helped me relax enough to be able to flirt with girls again.
Your predictability is utterly disappointing. When I finally stopped mourning, you know what brought me back? My concern for you.
Me?
You know you can't get along without me following in your shadow and caring for you. You flirt with anything that has a pulse, offend people left and right, and constantly cause commotions.
Huh. The truth really does hurt.
Please, Sylvain, consider your actions before you carry them out. And stop acting so nonchalant about getting hurt or killed. Promise me that.
Okay. I promise. Training on your own? You really do work hard.
I hate to break it to you, Sylvain, but there's nobody here for you to flirt with. So there's not much reason to hang around.
You're here, aren't you?
How ridiculous. Almost as ridiculous as your face.
You'd really say something like that to a handsome guy like me? I'm crushed. Joking aside, may I join you? I only came out here so I could train too.
Sure, just don't get in my way.
I've been thinking about it, and I really depend on you. Maybe that's weird since I'm older than you, but still.
Hitting on me? Again? Have some dignity, would you?
No, I'm being honest. I thought you'd listen. Hey, I'd like it if you didn't get too far away from me on the battlefield, okay? Just stay where I can see you.
I'll stay as long as I can. You're useless without me, after all.
What? No, I'm saying if there's one thing I can do on the battlefield, it's keep you safe.
Whatever helps you feel better. Stay and protect me then. I couldn't bear it if you went off and died on me while I wasn't around.
I'm pretty sure that's my line.
It's getting late. We'd better head out.
You're right. I'm exhausted anyway.
You haven't been practicing enough. All that time you waste chasing after women would be better spent training. I'll train with you anytime, so just... What's that strange look for?
Well, you're going to think I'm being a jerk or hitting on you or whatever. When we're side by side like this, training, I feel, I don't know, oddly at ease.
I know what you mean. It's probably because we've been friends for so long.
That must be it. Let's never change. Friends forever?
Absolutely. No matter what happens, we'll always be friends, Sylvain.
Hey Ingrid, how are you? I mean, what are you? Are you, off to train again?
No, I'm headed to town to buy supplies, but I'll be training after that, naturally. Why?
Oh, I just thought you looked serious as ever. I guess that part of you hasn't changed.
Of course it hasn't. I am as I ever was.
Yeah, no, I mean, I guess you're right.
You're being weird. Have you always been this weird and I just never noticed?
No, I'm pretty sure. I don't think so. By the by, have you, fallen for anybody recently?
Don't be ridiculous. What are you even bumbling on about?
Well, everyone's been talking about how you got really, pretty. Just, all of a sudden.
Oh, you must be referring to the makeup. It's not a big deal or anything, just experimenting. I'm still learning. Did I mess something up?
Huh? No, I think it looks good. You did surprisingly well. I mean, considering that it's you.
Very funny. But I must say, I'm a bit surprised. It's unlike you to stumble over yourself this much.
What? No, I'm not. I'm just, curious about why. All of a sudden.
Why what? Why I'm wearing makeup?
I'm still guessing it's for a guy. If I had to try and guess what sort of guy, I suppose I'd say... Felix? No, wait. I'm forgetting the royal line. Dimitri would be a way better catch.
Wow, way to make assumptions.
Is it one of the knights? If it's not them... Wait, could it be me?
Don't make me hurt you.
No need for violence, it was just a joke. I mean... It's not a joke that you're beautiful, but I wasn't trying to hit on you or anything. Promise.
Beautiful, huh? Nightfall? Already? Suppose I'd better wrap up.
Good work with your training today, Ingrid. Here's something to wipe up the sweat.
Whoa, Mercedes. Hi. Hello. How long have you been... Thank you.
You're very welcome. I've been here since you started.
That long? Huh. Well, my apologies for not having noticed you. I get so caught up in training, But why are you here? I can't imagine it was too terribly interesting watching me.
I disagree. I just couldn't help but admire your training technique. I have to say, you are very impressive. I'm nowhere near as graceful as you.
Graceful? I wouldn't say that, but thank you. If I'm to be honest, I'm the one who admires you.
Goodness me? How so?
You're always so put together. You hold yourself with such poise and have such a keen eye for fashion. I mean, even the handkerchief you handed me smells like... lavender, is it? It's just lovely.
That perfume is a favorite of mine. I'm so glad you like it.
Even the fact that you thought to put perfume on your handkerchief is delightfully foreign to me. I'd never have thought of that.
I'll gladly share some with you. You're welcome to come visit my room whenever you'd like. We can have tea and chat. How does that sound?
That sounds really nice. Yes. Sipping tea and having a chat. It's unlike me, but it sounds lovely.
From now on, we'll meet up whenever we have time. We can go right now if you're free.
Oh, no need to trouble yourself and rearrange things for me.
It's no trouble at all. You'll never know if you're the type who enjoys chatting over tea if you never try.
All right then. Apologies for my late arrival, Mercedes. My duties ran long, as per usual.
There's no need to apologize at all. Please, have a seat. We've I've met for tea so many times, but you never seem to get used to it, do you, Ingrid?
Not entirely, no. I'm not accustomed to being treated so delicately. Anyway, what will we talk about today?
I actually wanted to gripe about something that's been bothering me.
You? Gripe? Now that's unusual. I'm happy to listen, of course. It's the least I can do after all the kindness you've shown me.
Thank you. The one thing I really wanted to talk about is marriage.
Oh?
Yes. I received a letter from my adoptive father about marriage discussions with a noble family.
And will you accept?
That's the problem. No matter what I decide, I'll probably be married off anyway. What I really want to do is help those in need. But I think it would be more difficult to do so if I married a nobleman.
Understandably so. Sounds to me like you need a strategy to silence your father.
Sorry? To silence him?
Don't you agree? It seems the best course of action would be to consider severing all ties with the family and running away.
We don't need to go that far. I'm sorry, I really just needed to let that out. I don't need you to worry about solving my problems.
Oh, okay. It's just a bit personal for me, actually. My own father has brought countless marriage proposals to my attention. He always was obsessed with me carrying on the family bloodline. At a very young age, my hand had already been promised to someone in marriage. But Glenn died young.
That must have been difficult for you. Would you have married him if he had survived?
That's a good question. It's hard to imagine now. Although I did admire him quite a lot, he held true to the ideals of knighthood, proudly serving the king. Even after all these years, I aspire to be the type of knight that he embodied. But that's just it. I'm not a tool for furthering my family's fortunes. I'm a knight at heart, regardless of what my father desires.
I see. A very noble cause indeed. How strange that we should be worrying about the same thing.
Even though we are such different people.
It's true. Enjoying a nice chat over tea with you like this makes me realize maybe the paths we walk aren't so different after all. Don't you think?
I do. These tea parties of ours, they really are something special.
That they are. Ingrid, I would love to get to know you better if that's okay. I want to know about your childhood, your favorite books, the sweets you like, anything at all.
Absolutely. I'm happy to speak with you anytime. And I want to know you better too, Mercedes.
Hello, Ingrid. Can I have just a teeny tiny moment of your time?
Sure. I can spare a moment or two.
I was wondering, do you have any interest in fashion and makeup and stuff like that?
I haven't the time to bother with such frivolities. As long as basic hygiene is being met, then I'm happy.
Oh, but you're missing out on something so fun. I mean, it's not like you need it, of course. You've got beautiful bone structure, lovely hair, long legs, but aren't you interested in trying something new?
Well, thank you. I suppose I do find it all somewhat intriguing. But my time is precious to me, and my focus is on knighthood. Taking time to paint my face simply isn't a top priority.
Sure, but imagine if you could combine the two and become the most fabulous knight ever. Okay, maybe I'm taking it too far. I know knights don't necessarily need a ton of makeup or things like that for the job. I'm just saying, I really think you'd enjoy it if you opened your mind to it. All I'm talking about is a light touch. I can see it now. Your gorgeous face done up with a delicate application of makeup. The fabulous knight who everyone looks up to and wants to be.
Well, maybe? I guess. That does sound mostly harmless.
Hooray! Okay, we don't have a moment to lose. Here, take this makeup kit, play around with the colors, and see what speaks to you.
Now, wait just a...
I actually got that little kit as a gift the other day, and I wasn't sure what to do with it because I already have that one. It's
It's a limited palette, but I think it fits the look you're going for perfectly.
I actually never agreed to start putting that stuff on my face, Annette.
What? Oh. Well then, I guess this whole kit will have to go to waste. I'll just throw it away like the garbage it is.
You're throwing it away? I can't just stand by and let something go to waste. Okay. All right. Thank you. We can do this.
That's the spirit! Oh, and I'm happy to help you learn to apply it too. Come on, let's go to my room. I have some brush techniques to show you before you get started.
Now, don't get carried away. Ugh. She played me like a fiddle.
Ingrid?
What's the matter, Annette? You look upset.
I'm just so sorry. I had no idea.
I'm not sure I follow. Take a breath. What's going on?
Well, I was really curious about why you're not interested in things like makeup. So I asked some of our friends about it, and...
Oh, I see. I imagine they mentioned that my family was fairly poor, and they probably also mentioned that I lost my fiancé. Correct?
They did. I'm so sorry. It was thoughtless of me to try pushing those things on you.
It's perfectly fine, Annette. It's true, my family struggled financially. It wasn't easy growing up, but it taught me values I wouldn't have learned otherwise. And we weren't so poor that I consider myself deprived. I'm sure my family would have bought me makeup if I had wanted it, but it never mattered enough to me. Not then, and not now.
Oh, so you just never sought that stuff out?
Never. While I acknowledge it can be fun, fussing over my outward appearance isn't an instinct of mine. When I was younger, I'd usually be found covered in dirt, bugs in my hair, and a big smile on my face. Things haven't changed too much since. Then, when my fiancé passed on, my priorities shifted even further. It reminded me of what's most important in life. Beyond that, it's hard to think of myself changing without him around to see it, even if it's something trivial like how I present myself. But talking to you has helped me realize it's okay to loosen up and enjoy those things if I want. So, thank you.
Me? Oh, I didn't do anything at all. Except pester.
More importantly, do you notice anything different about me today?
Yes, it's very subtle, but I could tell right away that you were using that makeup I gave you.
You could? Oh, that makes me happy. I was trying to apply it just how you showed me.
You did great, and it really suits you.
I think there's a lot I can learn from you, Annette. You've helped me embrace a lighter side of life I quite like.
It's my pleasure. Ooh, this is so great. Want to go shopping to celebrate?
Shopping? But what would we buy? That sounds so overwhelming.
There's a dress I've been eyeing for a while now. I'm certain it will complement your pretty eyes. Just leave it to me, Ingrid. I'll make you the most fabulous knight this world has ever seen.
Well, that does sound fun. I look forward to it.
This meat is so good. I wish I could send some home to my little sis.
Raphael, what are you doing here?
Oh, I was just enjoying some of this roast. Did you want a bite?
No. I meant, what are you doing here? This isn't the dining hall.
That's funny. Of course I know this isn't the dining hall.
You know that, and yet you're stuffing your face here rather than where it's appropriate. You're not even seated.
Is that the best way to eat? If you think so, let's sit down.
You're missing the point. At least use a plate.
I don't have a plate with me, so there's nothing I can do about that now. But since when are you so proper, Ingrid?
I'm not proper at all. You're just downright crude. Have you no respect for yourself in your journey to knighthood? Knights must work from a very young age to be upstanding in all facets. You are making a mockery of all that we stand for, you!
slow down. I can't do all this listening while I'm trying to eat.
Disgusting! Now you've spilled gravy all over your shoes and your chin. You'd better wipe that up.
Now you need everything to be neat and tidy? You're really particular.
This has nothing to do with me. It's what's expected of a knight.
Wait, all I have to do is be neat and tidy, and I can become a knight? Forget all that studying then. I'm just gonna work on being the neatest and tidiest one here.
Wait, that is not what I said.
Oh, really? You're probably right. I shouldn't bother with the neat and tidy stuff.
You are impossible.
Huh? Is that Ingrid? I'd better get out of here before she scolds me again. Actually, she looks kind of sad. Maybe I shouldn't run away. Hey, Ingrid! Why do you look so sad? Are you hungry or something?
Oh, it's you. No, I'm not hungry.
You're not hungry, but you're sad anyway? I don't get it. Are you sick?
No.
Then are you sure you're not hungry?
I just told you that wasn't it. It's nothing you can help with anyway.
Well, sometimes you gotta talk it out. That's what my grandpa says.
Yeah, I guess that's helpful sometimes. Are you willing to listen then?
Of course! Please, go ahead.
I've just received yet another letter from my father regarding a marriage arrangement with a noble family.
I see.
I am the only person in House Galatea capable of carrying on our family line, of passing on a crest.
Ah, I see.
I've long understood that it would be expected of me to marry, of course.
I see.
Raphael, are you even listening?
I'm right there with you, but...
Did you hear that ominous sound? Was that thunder?
Sorry, all that listening made me hungry. After hearing you out, I think you're probably just hungry too. And your troubles are sure to go away after a good meal.
I really am not hungry, but I can't say no to good food. All right, let's just eat then. I can tell you about my struggles some other time, maybe. Eating? In the dining hall. You?
What do you mean? The dining hall's where I do most of my eating.
If only the old version of you could hear you say that. It seems to me you've taken more care with your appearance of late, too. For once, you aren't covered in gravy and oil from head to toe. I'm impressed.
Of course not, Ingrid. A proper knight has to be neat and tidy.
All right, what have you done with Raphael?
It's all thanks to you. You said I had to clean up if I wanted to be a knight, so I started being more careful. Do you think I have what it takes now?
You've certainly become more knightly than before. But there's plenty yet to do to become a proper knight. It's not as simple as eating where you're meant to and not being covered in gravy.
Maybe I'd have a better chance if I just married you.
What does that have to do with anything?
You're real cultured, that's all. You already taught me to be neat and tidy. I figured you could teach me a lot more about being a proper knight if I always had you around.
That would be quite the undertaking for me. Listen, Raphael, that's sweet of you. However, as I've said before, I've no intention to marry. Let's cast aside this talk of marriage and instead embolden one another to be the best knights we can be.
You're right. Probably a better idea to just embolden each other instead. As long as I still get your help with becoming a proper knight.
While you're working to be more proper, I'll be working to strengthen myself, that I might become a greater knight than you.
Huh. I don't know about that. I'm pretty tough. But I guess if anyone could beat me, it'd probably be you, Ingrid. Guaranteed.
Thank you, Raphael. That means a lot to me. Hey, Ignatz. What are you doing here? Hello? Oh, you're painting.
Ingrid, what are you doing here?
I could ask you the same. I did ask you the same. Anyway, I'm just visiting the cathedral. I must say, that painting is looking wonderful.
Don't look!
Why not? It really looks great.
Really?
I wouldn't lie. Let me have a look. Oh, it's the statue of St. Saros.
I hope you don't think I was ignoring you. When I'm painting, I get totally absorbed.
Of course not. My feelings aren't hurt so easily. What if you gave her a more edgy outfit? Shorten up her skirt or something.
No, that would be improper.
Ooh, and how about making her sword bigger? Oh, turn her into a valiant knight.
But she's not a knight.
Aw, come on. Just this once? Huh. She doesn't exactly look like a knight. More like a maniacal demigod.
Yeah, it just kinda came out that way.
It's different. Not quite how I envisioned.
It's my fault. I should have stuck to my original idea.
I'm sorry I pushed you, Ignatz. I'll leave you be. Good day, Ignatz. So, painting again?
Ingrid, yes, I'm painting St. Saros again.
Look, I'm really sorry about the last time. It's my fault it turned out so, well, different.
No need to apologize. I appreciated the fresh input. It made me think.
That's kind of you to say, but no need to pull punches.
It's the truth. I'm so caught up in my own mind, I'd never have thought to try that.
Ignatz, I appreciate your attitude, but
Yes?
there are times when it's okay to feel upset or angry. If you're feeling that way, it's always best to be honest.
But...
I understand the weight of what I did. I besmirched a sacred image, and it was a painting you were pouring your heart into. I got carried away, but I'd prefer if you had told me then and there that my request was uncalled for.
I'm not angry. I could never get angry with you. I'm sorry.
Why are you apologizing? I'm the one apologizing.
Oh, sorry.
Stop saying sorry! Never mind. Forgive me. I came here to apologize, and now I'm being sharp with you.
Don't worry. It's my fault, really. I'm not very good at expressing myself.
I never intended to be such a bother. I think I'll leave you to it.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Where are you going, Ingrid?
Oh, hi. I see you spotted me. Saw me. I don't want to disturb you.
Don't worry. I just finished my painting of St. Saros.
Oh, that's wonderful. May I see?
Of course. Take a look.
Whoa. She looks so different from the other painting. Much more divine and gentle.
She looks so real, doesn't she? So alive. Perhaps it's boastful for me to say that.
Not at all. She really does. She has a glowing vibrancy to her. Looking at this painting, I feel so inspired.
I was going to paint her as loving and benevolent, but then I remembered your idea, and I decided to depict her fighting for her people.
Really? Actually, now that I look closer, I see her sword is rather large, and she seems to be in a battle stance.
That's right. Although, of course, I had to discard some of your more absurd suggestions.
I'm sorry about that.
No, wait. That's not what I meant. I see that if I open myself up to suggestions from other people, new things become possible. And I have you to thank for that realization.
If that's true, I'm very glad I could help. You made a good point. We can't be blinded by our own thought patterns and ideas. It's important to be open to others as well. By doing so, we discover new paths for ourselves, and we can become better in ways we may never have imagined.
Exactly.
Thank you, Ignaz. You've reminded me of a very valuable lesson. I'm going to strive to be more attentive and listen to other people's ideas.
Me too. And I've just had a new idea for a painting.
I can't wait to see it. I bet it'll be a masterpiece. Always diligently working on your craft.
Ah, Ingrid! How long were you standing there?
Only just now. Oh, is that the new painting you were mentioning? You sounded especially inspired about this one. May I see?
No. I mean, the painting's not ready yet. I don't want anyone to see it before it's finished.
But we had spoken about how much your perspective can broaden when you let other people in on your work. Had a change of heart?
It's not that. This one is embarrassing is all.
Come on. You know you don't need to feel embarrassed around me. Please, show me.
All right. Just for a second.
This one is even more beautiful than the last. A knight in shimmering armor fighting in all her glory. That lance looks a lot like mine. And the armor. And the horse. Ignaz, is that?
Yes. It's you.
The woman in this image. She's so powerful and regal. I'm in awe. So elegant and refined, but with such a soft air, despite the armor and weaponry.
That's how I see you. You remind me of Saint Saros. Brave and vibrant and powerful, yet kind and gentle. Sorry, was that too much? That was too much.
Thank you, Ignaz. I'm deeply touched. And also embarrassed.
I'm feeling a little embarrassed myself.
Truly, I'm so moved. I guess now I really need to live up to all your painting encompasses. Please show it to me once it's finished.
I will. I promise. Though I don't think I'll show it to anyone else.
Is something troubling you, Ingrid?
Oh, Sedith. You seem to have caught me when I thought nobody was around.
Perhaps I can help, if you would like to share.
I wouldn't want to bother you with my trivialities.
I will not pry, of course. But if you keep it to yourself, no one will be able to help you.
That's true. It's regarding my father.
Count Galatea. I have met him once or twice.
Well, you have likely heard that House Galatea's financial situation is precarious. Many regions of Fargus are harsh and infertile, but our lands are especially so. There were several years of fruitless harvests. It nearly ruined us. We could barely feed our troops. Then I was born bearing a crest, after generations bore none. Suddenly my family hung its future on me. My father had hopes that with my crest, I'd be married into a noble family, and that House Galatea's financial troubles would be a thing of the past.
Ah, I see. And the other house would benefit from the addition of your crest-bearing blood. It seems to me you have suffered much for the misfortune of being born with a crest.
I beg your pardon?
I know crests are highly valued, but they are also a burden. My feelings are mixed.
You truly think so? But you're so devoted to the goddess. I'm surprised to hear you say such a thing.
Perhaps one day I will expound upon my opinion of crests in greater detail with you. For now, let it suffice to say that whether or not you bear one is secondary to your identity. You are a person, first and foremost. And you should be permitted to grow as a person, crest or not.
I agree. Thank you for listening.
If you ever wish to discuss this again, consider me available whenever you please.
Thank you so much.
Ingrid, are you familiar with the story of the King of Liberation and the 10 elites of Fodlan?
Of course. They were the heroes who struck down evil with the power of the sacred weapons, protecting our land and people. Their strength was passed down through the ages, manifesting itself in the crests some of us are born with.
Yes, the 10 elites certainly possessed great power. But does that make them worthy of worship?
I imagine you ask because they later fought amongst themselves, turning on one another, ravaging the land.
Precisely. Initially, Nemesis and the 10 elites worked together to bring peace to Fodlan. But soon their ambitions got the best of them, and they clashed, using their sacred weapons on anyone they chose, strong and weak alike. What I mean to say is, possessing strength alone does not make one worthy of respect. Rather, one should be judged by how they choose to use that strength.
Yes, I agree.
If you follow that logic, then you will see it also applies to those who are born with crests. Now think of how your father wishes to wed you to another family's fortune on the basis of your crest.
Yes? What of it?
These are purely inherited qualities. Is it not foolish to judge a person's value by some inherited fortune? That is all a crest is, really.
That's what I think too. Having a crest or not has no bearing on your worth as a person.
I understand that Count Galatea believes he has the right to manage your affairs. I am certain he has his own share of problems. And I do not wish to meddle or lay blame. But if there is anything I should like to say to his daughter, it is this. How you live your life is up to you.
Thank you for your counsel and wisdom, Sedith. Father's hopes were dashed long ago. I will take some time to reflect on what lies ahead. My future.
Still contemplating, I see.
Without so much as a word, you've read me through and through. Since last we spoke, I've been thinking a lot about my future, how I want to spend my life. It's a lot to think about, and I haven't entirely sorted out where I'm going. I think I need more time to grow.
On the contrary, you have given this honest and sincere thought. I am quite impressed, actually.
You're impressed with me?
Worry about the future is not unique to youth. It is human nature. At the risk of being overbearing, might I offer you one more piece of advice?
Of course.
Have you considered what your life would be like had you not been born with a crest? Do you suppose that you would have been ordinary? Insignificant? I do not think so. Even without a crest, such a promising young lady as yourself would have a bright future ahead of her.
Sedith, I
am not typically inclined to flattery, so I hope you will take my words to heart. Have faith in yourself. If you trade that faith for a misplaced pride in your crest, I will have to reassess your character.
I've no intention of doing such a thing. It will take me time and experience, but I will find my path and walk it proudly.
I am glad to hear it, Ingrid.
Sedith, do you have a moment?
Certainly. Have you arrived at a decision about what you would like your future to be?
I think so. I was hoping I might ask for your opinion on the subject.
I am flattered. Please proceed.
I want to serve as a knight and protect my homeland. I know this through and through. It has been my truth for as long as I can remember. However, I feel I should choose a path that would benefit my father. I was raised by him in a happy home, never wanting for anything, despite my family's meager finances. I owe it to him to choose a path he'd approve of.
If that is the decision you have reached after such careful deliberation, then I have no objections. But may I ask you something?
Please, go ahead.
Have you actually had a conversation with your father about this?
I have not. There hasn't been time to pay him a visit. He did permit me to join this war. But I was brash about my departure. left forcibly.
In that case, it is all the more important that you speak to him.
Perhaps. My father is an obstinate man. At this point, I'm not sure he'd care to hear what I have to say.
I do not know the man well, so perhaps it is not my place to judge. However, I do know what it's like to fret constantly over one's family. If he is as doting a father as you say, then he will want to know how you truly feel. I do not think he will refuse your wishes if you share them with him honestly. Of course, if your decision remains the same after speaking with him, then so be it.
Said it. Thank you. You're right. I should talk to him. I've spent so much time thinking about how stubborn he is that I've neglected to acknowledge my own part in all this. Rather than blaming him, I need to recognize how stubborn I myself have been. Maybe if I open up and allow for vulnerability, he will too.
That is the way. Hold your head up high and stride forward into the unknown.
I will. And I will keep your words close to my heart. Thank you for everything, Sedith.
Good work. Should we call it a day?
Thank you. Yes, let's. Catherine, if you don't mind, I'd like to ask you something.
Let me guess. You're going to ask why you're so bad at predicting my attacks.
When I expect an attack from above, you surprise me from below. When I expect a jab, I get a sweep. You seem to anticipate my anticipation.
It's probably because you're a straightforward, honest person. You're reading my movements and trying to calculate what I'll do next.
That has always seemed the most sound strategy when engaging in combat, yes.
Right. Well, I take that anticipation and turn it against you. I use my eyes and the tilt of my sword to mislead you. Catching your opponent off guard is the trick to staying alive in combat. You've got to keep yourself alive if you want to protect Lady Rhea, right?
Your dedication to Lady Rhea's safety is truly inspiring, Catherine.
You flatter me.
My dream is to become a knight and protect my king, no matter the cost. There is no greater purpose I can serve. Although your fealty is sworn to Lady Rhea, you are the ideal knight I aspire to be.
Admire me to your heart's content, but I'm...
Catherine, I'd be honored if you would make me your squire.
My what now? Oh, you're far too straight-laced to be my squire.
However you might judge me, I'm quite serious about this.
All right then, why not? Let's start by teaching you how to flirt with handsome men.
Pardon me? That can't possibly be where you want to start.
Nah, I was just kidding. I wish I knew how to flirt with handsome men. Instead, let's teach you to lighten up.
Ah, understood.
All right then, enough sparring for today?
Yes, that should suffice.
I must say, you've gotten good at seeing through my tricks. I can't mislead you so easily anymore.
I've made it my goal to read your aim and not give away anything through my body language.
But in hand-to-hand combat, your form needs work. On the battlefield, even if you lose your weapon, you can't ever stop fighting. Sink your teeth into their throats, kick them where it hurts. Do whatever it takes to survive.
Have you ever needed to employ such methods?
Not on the battlefield. I've never been in such a dire situation that I needed to. But at the tavern, loads of times. With a well-aimed boot, I've brought many a man to his knees. My point is, you can't hesitate to use dirty tactics. You have to grit your teeth and fight back. War isn't as pretty as it's made out to be in all those poems and songs. Sometimes, even as a knight, you have to do things that you might think are beneath you. You might even have to let innocent bystanders die. Are you prepared for that, Ingrid? Do you really want to be a knight, knowing what it entails?
I'm prepared to do whatever is requested of me, come what may. I will be a knight who loyally serves my king, just as you loyally serve Lady Rhea.
You've got me wrong. I'm loyal to the Archbishop, but only up to a point. I'd do anything in the world for Lady Rhea. except die. If she asked me to die for her, I wouldn't. Does that sound like a contradiction? Very well. That's just who I am.
You're right. It does sound like a contradiction. With all due respect, that isn't very knightly of you. I'm not sure I fully understand.
You will someday. Maybe not for a while, but you will. In the meantime, just don't die, okay?
I'll try my best. That's the third time this month. Well, that's that. Father never relents. Oh, Professor! Hello! Did you need something? Well, that is... I was just tossing out something I have no need of. It's important to keep our spaces clean after all. You'd do well to remember that too, Professor. A clean space makes for a clean mind, or some such. Getting rid of things you have no need for is the first step to managing one's belongings in an economical way. While I'd love to help, I don't want people getting the wrong idea with me being alone in your room. Despite my family's nobility, we've never been particularly wealthy. So my father raised me to be conservative with my resources, paring down when necessary. He also encouraged me to keep my living spaces immaculate, so the two go hand in hand, I suppose. Yes, he's a good person. Even when managing our territory used up most of our family's resources, he still went out of his way to ensure my comfort. Oh, just a scrap of paper. It was already written on, so no good for note-taking. And obviously, I can't use it to clean my lance. So I tossed it. No need to hang on to inconsequential things, you know. Professor, did you come to check on me for any particular reason? I hope Sylvain and Felix aren't getting into trouble as they tend to do. Oh, well, if there's nothing important, I'll be on my way then. I still have some cleaning to take care of, after all. Talk to you later, Professor. Ugh, will Father never learn? All of these useless letters are only creating more rubbish in the world. Professor? Oh, I didn't see you standing there. My apologies. Oh, that paper. Well, Yes, it was. It was a letter from my father. I understand where you're coming from here, but I have no need of such things. It isn't like anything of importance was written on it. Curious? I suppose there's no harm in allowing you to read it. Go on then.
My dearest daughter, Ingrid. Are you well? I trust that you are behaving yourself and refraining from causing trouble for others. Things on the home front are in order. The marriage proposal for you and the Viscount's son should be prepared soon. Although, I am quite certain there are many superior candidates at Garreg-Mach Monastery. As you know, the very survival of our family is dependent upon whom you marry. You are the only one left in the family who can make things right. We are all counting on you. Do not lose sight of what truly matters.
Yes. Perhaps you found it somewhat entertaining. I've told you that we've never been very well off financially. My noble family, House Galatea, branched off from House Daphne in the Alliance. Shortly after, we were lucky enough to receive the support of the royal family, allowing us to attain nobility, to some extent. But the territory we watch over is poor, its harvest meager, and our noble blood too has grown thin. Neither my father nor my brothers bear a crest. I, however, do bear a crest. Because of this, my father sees me as our family's one hope for the future. A crest is highly prized among nobles. Were I to marry into a greater noble family, That financial support could soothe our woes. Thank you, Professor. Your sentiment alone is a great comfort to me. Despite my own feelings, I understand his approach to all this. It isn't that he doesn't care for me. I understand it very, very well, which is why I apologize, Professor. I must be going. Apologies for bothering you so late. I just really wanted to speak with you. Thank you. You see, I've been feeling conflicted about my future. It may seem petty to worry about such things in the middle of a war like this. This isn't something I open up about with many people. Feeling such a sense of inner turmoil while a war rages on and others are fighting with all they have, well, it feels a little selfish. The truth is, I've wanted to be a knight ever since I was a small child. Not just any knight, like one you might find serving within the castle guard, but a true knight, one serving a master. However, my father has always had different plans for me. He wants me to marry for the benefit of the Byleths family. Defying my father feels wrong. I've seen how he's struggled over the years. His burden has always been far greater than any I've had to bear myself. While he fed me extravagant meals, he subsisted on meager portions and watered-down soups. He never once complained, even though he must have been starving. Knowing his sacrifices, I've never been able to tell him of my dream of becoming a knight. Although ultimately, I find myself betraying his wishes. Now that I've parted ways with my father, there is nothing to stop me from pursuing my dream. But even if I do become a knight, I feel an unease deep within me. I fear I will never escape this guilt I carry, that I have shunned my duty as a noble. Yes, I know. All I can do is accept this inner turmoil. Even with the academy days long behind us, you're still a professor through and through, always listening to others' troubles and offering up your wisdom. I really am grateful for all that you do for us, Professor. I hope you'll always be here as a guide to everyone. I know I myself would appreciate that deeply. Is something the matter? You seem lost in thought. I know you've been very busy lately. It's wise to take breaks and rest, especially with all that is going on in the world. Actually, I wanted to speak with you about something. I promised myself I would wait until the war was over. Well, Professor, I have feelings for you. Of course, I respect you as a person, and I'll understand if you can't love me back, but still, I had to tell you. Though my focus has ever been on my duty and training, I cannot deny the feelings that have arisen. My dream is to attain knighthood. But now, I have a new dream to hold tight to. That is to be with you, always. Oh, is this? I must say, I'm a little inelegant with such matters. Battle is all I know. Are you quite certain? You truly desire to share your life with me? I am so happy. I worried that my feelings would go unrequited. Now that all of that is out in the open, I feel as light as a feather. My love, I swear to stay by your side, always. I swear on the goddess above and on you, here at my side. You and I together, entering this new age. No matter what the future brings, I will stand by you as your sword, your shield, and your dearest companion. There is nothing that brings me more joy. It truly is all I need in this world. I love you so very much. I'm sorry. I'm overcome. This may take some getting used to.